Hey, Skull Nation. What's good, Vikings faithful? We're just days away from kicking off the 2025 season against the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football. And the Vikings news is hotter than a Minnesota summer. Our wide receiver room was looking shaky, but hold on to your horns. There's a massive update on Jalen Nailor's injury, and we've got Adam Thielen back in purple. Ready for the scoop? Let's dive into the action and break down what this means for our boys in Week 1. Picture this: Soldier Field, the lights blazing, and rookie QB J.J. McCarthy stepping up for his first NFL start. The question on every fan's mind is, who's he throwing to? With Jordan Addison sidelined for 3 games due to a suspension, the Vikings were scrambling. But the return of a legend and some promising injury news have us buzzing. Stick with me as we unpack 15 electrifying updates that'll get you pumped for the Bears matchup. What do you think? Can our WRs carry us to a Week 1 dub? Drop your thoughts below. The Minnesota Vikings have been battling some serious depth issues at wide receiver, but the tides are turning. Last week, we were sweating bullets with Justin Jefferson nursing a hamstring, Addison out, and Jalen Nailor on the mend. Now, the stars are aligning, and the Vikings are poised to field a killer trio against Chicago. Let's break it down, scene by scene, and see why Skull Nation should be hyped. Skull Nation. Let's start with the big news shaking up Vikings territory. Jalen Nailor, our speedster wideout, is making waves with his recovery. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler dropped a bombshell on August 31st, saying the Vikings are optimistic about Nailor suiting up for Week 1 against the Bears, barring any setbacks. That's huge for a guy who's been sidelined since jamming his left hand on August 14th during joint practices with the Patriots. Nailor's hand injury had us worried, especially since he's pegged as the WR3 with Addison out. The former 6th-round pick out of Michigan State had a procedure done to speed up his recovery, and it seems to be paying off. Coach Kevin O'Connell called it week-to-week back in mid-August, but now the vibe is positive. Can you imagine Nailor streaking down the field, ready to catch bombs from McCarthy? This update is a game-changer for our offense. Nailor's got a golden opportunity to shine early in the season, especially with a 3-game runway before Addison returns. So what's your take, Vikings fans? Is Nailor ready to step up and make some noise in Chicago? Let's hear it in the comments. Hold up, Skull Nation. Let's talk about the legend returning home. The Vikings pulled off a blockbuster trade last week, bringing back Adam Thielen from the Carolina Panthers. This Minnesota native and fan favorite is back to bolster our receiver room, and the timing couldn't be better. With Addison suspended and Nailor's status uncertain until recently, Thielen's experience is pure gold. Thielen, at 35, still has gas in the tank. In 2 seasons with Carolina, he racked up 1,629 yards and 9 touchdowns on 151 catches. Now he's back in purple, likely starting alongside Justin Jefferson in Week 1. The trade cost us a 2026 5th-round pick and a 2027 4th-round pick, but getting a proven vet like Thielen? Worth every penny. Imagine the energy at Soldier Field when Thielen hauls in his first catchback with the Vikings. This move not only adds depth but also gives McCarthy a reliable target. Who's more excited, us or Thielen himself? Drop your thoughts below and let's get this hype train rolling. Now let's zoom in on J.J. McCarthy, our rookie QB stepping into the spotlight. The kid from Michigan is making his first NFL start against the Bears, and the pressure's on. With Jefferson, Thielen, and potentially Nailor as his weapons, he's got a solid crew to work with. But can he handle the Monday Night Football stage? McCarthy's been sidelined by a meniscus injury last year, but he's ready to roll now. The Vikings' offense is built around playmakers, and with Thielen's veteran savvy and Nailor's speed, McCarthy's got options. Last season, Nailor and Jefferson made history as the first Vikings duo to score receiving TDs in each of the first 3 games. Can they keep that magic going? This is where it gets fun, Skull Nation. A young QB, a stacked WR room, and a divisional rival. What's not to love? Are you feeling confident in McCarthy's debut? Or are you nervous for our rookie? Hit the comments and let's debate. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Our WR depth was a mess until recently. Jordan Addison's 3-game suspension for a DUI case threw a wrench in our plans. Then, Rondale Moore went down with a season-ending knee injury in the preseason opener. And Nailor's hand issue? That had us on edge. The Vikings front office didn't sit still, though. GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah went all in, trading for Thielen to shore up the position. With Jefferson back to full health after a mild hamstring strain, we're looking at a WR trio that could dominate. But here's the question. How do we balance targets between these playmakers? Skull Nation, this is where you come in. Should we lean on Jefferson's star power, Thielen's reliability, or Nailor's big play potential? Let's strategize in the comments. How would you game plan this offense? Jalen Nailor's journey is worth a closer look, Vikings fans. This dude's been battling injuries since his college days at Michigan State, missing 40% of his games in his first 2 NFL seasons. But 2024 was his breakout year, 28 catches, 414 yards, and 6 TDs, including a scorching start with TDs in the first 3 games. Now, in the final year of his rookie contract, Nailor's got everything to prove. His hand procedure was a bold move to get back for Week 1, and the Vikings are banking on his speed to stretch the field. Can he seize this moment and cement his role before Addison returns? This is make or break for Nailor, Skull Nation. A big Week 1 could set him up for a monster season and a fat contract next offseason. What's your bold prediction for Nailor's stat line against the Bears? Drop it below. Let's shift gears to the Bears matchup. Soldier Field is no joke, especially on Monday Night Football. The Vikings have owned this rivalry lately, but Chicago's defense will be gunning for McCarthy. With Nailor potentially back and Thielen in the fold, our offense has the tools to exploit their secondary. Last season, Nailor showed his clutch factor, hauling in a 5-yard TD against the Bears in Week 12. Pair that with Thielen's red zone prowess and Jefferson's ability to break games open, and we've got a recipe for fireworks. But can our O-line protect McCarthy long enough to let these plays develop? Skull Nation, what's the key to beating the Bears? Is it unleashing Nailor on deep routes or leaning on Thielen's short yardage reliability? Let's break it down in the comments. Here's a spicy subplot. How does Thielen's return shake up the WR pecking order? Before the trade, Nailor was slotted as the WR2 behind Jefferson during Addison's suspension. Now, Thielen's likely taking that spot, pushing Nailor to WR3. Once Addison returns in Week 4, Nailor could slide to WR4. Thielen's a chain mover, perfect for keeping drives alive, while Nailor's a deep threat who can blow the top off defenses. The Vikings are planning to use both strategically, Thielen inside, Nailor outside. How do you think Coach O'Connell will juggle these talents? This is where the fun begins, Vikings fans. A crowded WR room means big decisions. Who's getting the most targets in Week 1? Hit the comments with your predictions. Let's get nerdy with some stats, Skull Nation. Nailor's career high is only 3 receptions in a single game, which he's hit just 3 times. But last season, he averaged 14.8 yards per catch and scored 6 times on 28 grabs. That's big play potential we can't ignore. With Addison out, Nailor's role could expand significantly. The Vikings envision him as a key piece, especially with his ability to stretch the field. Pair that with Thielen's 103 catches in 2023 with Carolina, and we've got a dynamic duo supporting Jefferson. What's the ceiling for this WR group, Vikings fans? Can Nailor break out for a 100-yard game, or will Thielen steal the show? Let's hear your hot takes in the comments. Now, let's talk about the trade for Thielen. It wasn't cheap. A 2026 5th and a 2027 4th for a 2026 7th and a 2027 5th. But bringing back a Vikings legend who knows Kevin O'Connell's system? That's a no-brainer. Thielen's familiarity gives McCarthy a security blanket in his debut. Thielen's not just a feel-good story. He's a proven vet who can mentor Nailor and the younger receivers like rookie Ty Felton. With only 5 WRs on the roster, Jefferson, Thielen, Nailor, Felton, and Miles Price, this group needs to gel fast. Skull Nation, how big is Thielen's return for team morale? Is this the spark we need to start 1-0? Drop your thoughts below and let's keep the vibe high. Let's not forget Justin Jefferson, the heart of this offense. Despite a mild hamstring issue in camp, he's ready to roll for Week 1. Last season, he and Nailor became the first Vikings duo to score receiving TDs in each of the first 3 games since 1970. That's elite company. Jefferson's the focal point, but with Thielen and Nailor, defenses can't just double-team him. This trio could give Chicago's secondary nightmares. How do you think the Bears will try to contain JJ? Vikings fans, this is our time to shine. How many yards is Jefferson dropping on the Bears? Let's get those predictions in the comments. Here's a curveball. What happens when Jordan Addison returns? He's back in Week 4 against Pittsburgh, likely reclaiming the WR2 spot. Thielen slides to WR3, and Nailor could be pushed out of the regular rotation. But with injuries plaguing our WRs in the past, Jefferson missed 7 games in 2023. Thielen sat out 7 last year. Nailor's bound to get chances. Nailor's in a contract year, so every snap counts. A strong start could set him up for a big payday in 2026. Will he rise to the occasion or get lost in the shuffle? Skull Nation, let's play GM. Do we keep Nailor long-term, or is he auditioning for another team? Share your thoughts below. Let's talk game plan, Vikings fans. Kevin O'Connell's offense thrives on versatility. With Nailor's speed, Thielen's route running, and Jefferson's everything, we can attack Chicago in multiple ways. Nailor stretching the field opens up the underneath for Thielen, while Jefferson demands attention everywhere. The Bears' defense will likely focus on stopping Jefferson and TJ Hockenson, leaving opportunities for Nailor to exploit single coverage. Can McCarthy find him for a deep shot? That's the kind of play that could flip the game. What's your dream play call for Week 1, Skull Nation? A bomb to Nailor or a red zone fade to Thielen? Let's draw it up in the comments. We can't ignore the stakes for Nailor. This dude's been a fighter, overcoming injuries to post a career year in 2024. His 47-yard TD against Green Bay last season showed what he's capable of. Now, with a chance to start in Week 1, he could redefine his role in this offense. The Vikings are banking on Nailor's recovery to give them a spark. A hand injury's tricky for a receiver, but the procedure was minimally invasive, giving him a shot to play. Will he be 100% against Chicago? Skull Nation, let's show Nailor some love. What's the one thing you want to see from him in Week 1? Drop it below and let's rally behind our guy. As we count down to kickoff, the Vikings' WR room is looking better than ever. Thielen's return, Nailor's optimism, and Jefferson's star power give us a legit shot to light up Soldier Field. But the Bears aren't pushovers. Can our offense execute under the bright lights? McCarthy's debut is the X factor. With a trio like Jefferson, Thielen, and Nailor, he's got the tools to succeed. But it's on O'Connell to dial up the right plays. What's the vibe in Skull Nation? Are we feeling a blowout or a nail-biter? Let's get loud. Vikings fans, predict the final score for Week 1 and tell us who's scoring the first TD. Hit the comments and let's get hyped. Alright, Skull Nation, we're wrapping up with a banger. The Vikings are walking into Week 1 with a revamped WR core, a rookie QB ready to shine, and a chip on their shoulder. Jalen Nailor's potential return, Adam Thielen's homecoming, and Justin Jefferson's dominance have us dreaming of a big win in Chicago. This is our year. Let's start it with a bang. From Nailor's grit to Thielen's veteran savvy, this team's got heart and talent. Monday Night Football is our stage, and we're ready to show the NFL what Vikings football is all about. Who's with me? Let's make some noise for our boys in purple. Skull Nation, it's time to bring it. Smash that like button, drop your predictions and hot takes in the comments, and subscribe for more Vikings news. Share this video with every fan you know, and let's pack Soldier Field with Skull chants. Virtually, of course. Skull Vikings.